Yeah, it's Rod speaking. It's day 20, let's say day 20, past day 19, getting close to day 21 with the lockdown here in New Zealand. We're just listening to Governor Como in the United States with New York City. He was talking about the gears, and you can't open the education system with the schools without opening the transport system and how the gears link together. And it looks like there's certain structures within cities that means that the virus, to control it and not let it spark up again, like he was saying, you get a whole lot of people in one place, one person can infect all of them in a short time. He's basically saying that that's it. The structure of certain communities, the gears are such that, for example, he uses the train to get in to an area there. You can't just say, well, the trains won't run, the buses won't run, everyone drives their cars in. Well, it's not going to work. It'd be pandemonium from his perspective, and also there's equity issues and stuff. So we're in a very interesting situation where a lot of our cities are not fit for purpose or are unable to handle opening the country back up again. Now, on the other side of that, he also suggests that it needs federal controls because there are certain places in the country that can open up, for example. Now, I'm dealing with Newell's Road here, and it's quite fascinating, a little newsletter that goes out, and then I realised, well, what about an online little business where you actually disinfect the products that come from the supermarket, put them in snap-lock bags, so when they arrive, the person has a mask and gloves and a full suit, it's sterilised, and you order this online. You order it online, and then it then arrives at your property, and then you know that it's safe. What we're getting at the moment is a whole lot of workers who are picking up stuff that at the end of the day is sitting in the supermarket, so people have handled it all day, and these staff members are picking it up and putting it in shopping bags, so it's been well handled. Cough, cough, cough. The hygiene of that is sitting on there. It goes into your bag. It arrives in the vehicle, which they haven't quarantined or whatever. You might have the worker cough, 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 while they're stacking it, loading it. You don't know who's infected, who's not. There's no testing. So even though New Zealand's in a good position where we've locked down and we've got that, we're not in a position to give assurance if we did have an outbreak or another outbreak that comes, or the two RNAs combine between and create a super virus, which is deadly to children, for example. At the moment, it's only deadly to older people. But if it was deadly to children, then we'd have an even more stringent situation. So to start that business up means that the newsletter on the 20 letterboxes on the road of Newell's Road would be the first place to start it, and therefore you have the standards. So it's like a little incubator, a little test to show how and it's only with 20 letterboxes, here in South Waikato, here in New Zealand. So it's an online. So then setting up a newsletter, setting up the online side of things, so you've got a digital archive of the old newsletters that people come on so other people can see. How do you set up a shop? What's the payment things? And so really it's going to be done road by road with this virus. And that's a new structure. We've had these big cities, but now with digital, we can have our road and we can have our local community, and we can go from there. So for me, the online thing's interesting because I'm interested in a vegan, not a vegan, but a lectin-free, so you still can have meat, but it's basically olive oil, mushrooms and onions. That's the key to the basis of it. And staying away from things that are very high in lectin, which are peanuts, raw beans, if you like raw, not raw beans, but I'm just saying certain things like corn. You might think, oh, corn's common, but it has lectin in it. Peanuts have lectin, cashews have lectin, and so having an online store which promotes olive oil and lectin-free things. What's another good lectin-free things? Garlic, ginger, lots of the herbs and spices, all lectin free. And so that means that those things are sourced, olive oil sourced, they're then washed in a 70 or 60% alcohol. They're then put into a plastic bag. They can be set aside. I mean, the virus within the plastic bag with the residue of the alcohol means it's pure, and then that's put inside another plastic bag for your order, which is sterilised on the outside. And so when it arrives at your place, you open the first plastic bags and you're wearing gloves and masks and bits and pieces, and you take those things out, and then those things can then be opened without gloves and masks because they're in your home, and then go on your shelves. So that's the level of, same with, I had a raspberry Pi delivered from PV Tech, and it arrived in cough, 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 the courier driver, if you get one courier driver infected, well, he infects everybody he delivers to. So this hygiene thing's important. So when he delivers the bag, well, it's not sealed, so I can't unseal it and take something that I know that's got no virus out of and then unseal it, because when in transit, cough, 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 can be polluted there. It could be like the supermarket people picking up stuff that other people have handled for a whole day in the supermarket, put into a bag. Well, it's got cough, cough, cough on it. So it really needs to come out of in a sterile box, which comes from a factory where there's no virus on it, and then it's put into a sterile environment with a snap lock bag. So when I know it comes to me, it's sterile. So that's just what I wanted to share with you, because globally we are now challenged with this. So how to keep things like water running, which has already been addressed by the council, and now we're looking at the hygiene of food, which is, I think, the biggest weakness in New Zealand. And how do we get businesses that get up to standard with regards to what's hygienic. So I've worked in a lab. A lot of people who've worked in hospitals understand those different things in biomedical areas, how to not cross-infect and stuff. And so that's one of the things we need, assurances that people can feel comfortable in their food supply. At the moment, all crowding down at the supermarket. I mean, it works. It's like Como said, we've locked down the economy, but we haven't locked down the actual economy in that sense, just certain parts of it. Parts that have, like movie theatres or public bars where, that sort of thing, where people were sharing cigarettes and lighters and cough, cough, coughs and drinks and cups, and they pick up the wrong vessel. I mean, there's a whole lot of mayhem out there from a viral perspective. So we're not going to have that back again, but we can do things. And I suppose this bubble idea. So the older population, I suppose, is going to be locked down and have one person come in and out of their homes. But then you've got cleaning issues, you've got all sorts of interesting things. So she's a fascinating, but at this stage I'm just looking at where we go now, and an online shopping option, but it may not be. It may be that you can pick from a newsletter on your street, and then the food comes in, it's packaged, and if you want to buy from that, and then what price do you can go to the supermarket, but it's quite nice having it delivered. So these are some of the interesting things, and like he said, he's a governor, so he's got 700 districts of schools and 700 mayors and 700 of everything, and then above him he's got to follow the rules that this federal government from the president sets up, and so then he's got to make sure that's within the constitution and stuff. So he's got his own limitations as well, just like we've got our own limitations. So I was just talking to a person that ran for the election for the local government and didn't get in, but still ran. And so we're in a situation now under the viral sense that this person actually has some credentials. We don't have a newspaper anymore. That stopped, and after 4 weeks the probably paper will never start again. All the staff have been put off. So we're in a situation where we don't have a media. So doing this new road thing is interesting as well. So combining with a person who ran for election but didn't get in, from a community board perspective, and a newspaper. So we've started with one road, and that's interesting because here we are. You're actually new growth. The big tall trees fallen over, and how do we go forward from here? Okay, I'll leave it at that. But comments, please.